Hello and welcome to That British Homestead. Today I've got you 5 things, 5 jobs that you should be doing on your allotment or in your garden in August. Let's get started. Number one is harvesting. It is paramount that you continue harvesting through August. This is because the more you harvest, the more you get, especially for things like cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, so that they have more energy to produce more fruit before the first frost comes. So it's really important that you spend time harvesting your crop even when it's really hot and miserable out. The more you harvest, the more crop you'll get and the more reward you'll get from all of them hours spent in the garden. Harvesting, I think, is the best job to do in all aspects of life. I absolutely adore it. I find it really fun and I find it very exciting. Kids absolutely love harvesting. As you can see, little Jasmine absolutely loves harvesting. If it was up to her, she would have harvested all of our winter squash as zucchini. She really likes it. So get the kids involved and go out, give them some succators and monitor them whilst they harvest, because to be honest they can't be trusted, but it's a fantastic afternoon activity with them. They get super excited, especially for things like cherry tomatoes. They love cherry tomatoes, so it's a really great activity to get out and spend some of that sort of 6 weeks holiday fun harvesting some of your crops. Number two is everybody's least favourite job, especially Jasmine, who says that she doesn't care for it. That's right, it's weeding. Weeding is immensely important, especially when your crops are about to be harvested, because the more nutrients that are being taken up by them weeds, the less nutrients you have for your lovely crops. So pull them up, get rid of them, mulch heavily, and try to stop the environment where weeds will flourish. So make sure that you are pulling them up with the root, you're drowning them, you're burning them, or you're composting them. It is immensely important. It will really affect the amount of harvest that you'll be able to get if you have so many weeds. And I know it's very difficult. That's why you have things like this landscape fabric. It will reduce the weeding load. You are not alone. Everyone hates weeding, but I have to say it is impressive how much the allotments change from the first videos that I've actually produced for the allotment, where the weeds were honestly chest height, and now, I mean, yes, I do still have some weeds, but they are nothing compared to how much they were when you first do them. So if you keep weeding and you keep on it and you keep removing all of the bindweed, you keep removing all of the stinging nettles, they are the most persistent, aren't they? It will slowly over time weaken that plant and it will stop producing. I know it's difficult because it feels like it never will be, but it will. Every year you pick one weed, you are stopping thousands for the next year. So it does work. I mean, in my home garden, I was actually weeding in my front garden today, and yes, I do have weeds, but the weeds is quite funny actually. The weeds are kale that I let go to seed because I think the flowers are really nice for the bees. So as you can see, weeding does work. I don't get weeds in my home gardens, obviously no dig. Number three is something that we all forget in the summer months. That's right, it is sowing seeds. It is paramount, guys, that we are sowing seeds in late summer. Now, I have done a video about this and I do recommend that you check it out, about seeds that you can actually be sowing here in August. It is paramount that you are sowing now so that you have something to eat in that hungry gap where we're craving a harvest and we don't have one. So if you're being sowing now, you'll be thanking yourself later. There's loads of things that you can be sowing. You've got your brassicas and some very exciting spring cabbages. There's even some red varieties which I quite like, that you can be overwintering. More importantly though, it is fundamental that you have something for that microbiome of your soil to be mulching on this winter. So even if it's a cover crop, it is important that you are still sowing. And when I'm saying sowing, don't do a big batch all at once. Do succession sowing, and that's where you do a few plants or a few seeds every week or two, so that you don't get all your cabbages in one go. Look, let's face it, no one can eat 10 cabbages at once, even if you really like cabbages, okay? So stagger them out so you have them over the hungry gap, okay? Don't get them all at once. It's just so much nicer that way, isn't it? Okay? And it's really important that you have something for when you're really got the old itchy feet but you can't be planting anything, and your peppers are, to be honest, your peppers are about 2 centimeters tall at that point. So you need something to get you through that period before your beautiful garden is booming again. Number 4. Now, number 4, we forget it, but it is fundamental. Yes, it is mulching. Now, let's be serious, guys. The weather has been really harsh on the old garden this year. Not a drop of rain coming from the sky. I mean, there was meant to be rain for the last 2 days, and I think about 4 drops fell. Okay, so we have to preserve that water. Mulching is a fantastic way of reducing how much water is evaporating. It is very difficult to reduce how much is evaporating. So by producing a large layer of mulch, it is slowing down the evaporation process from the soil, therefore keeping water in your soil for longer. Additionally, that mulch is breaking down over time to give you more organic matter, which means that your soil will be holding more moisture for longer for your plants. Now, you can use, like you see me doing here, wood chips. You can be using hay. You can be using straw. Just be careful, guys, right? Because some people spray it with pesticides. I have to say, all the years I've been using wood chip, I actually haven't, touch wood, had any issues with pesticides. But just make sure that you are aware what you're using, especially the hays, especially the ones that are produced for like animals and things like that. They could be sprayed with pesticides, so just be careful. Make sure anything that's got hot manure in it, that you are sticking it in the compost and letting it break down, because it will burn your plants. Number 5, last but not least, number 5 is watering. Now, it is fundamental that you are watering your plants. Now, not all plants are equal. Okay, well-established plants might not need to have that much water, such as your shrubs and your trees and anything that is well-established. However, if you're transplanting seedlings, please do it at night time, or do it in a time where it's going to be a little bit shady. This week, fantastic time to be getting some little seedlings in, because it is nice and shady. However, water them incredibly well in, and make sure that you are watering them several times, okay, over the next few days, or you will lose them. Make sure that you are watering anything that is fruiting, okay? So your cucumbers, they will go bitter and manky if you don't water them. Make sure your pumpkins, make sure that you are watering your strawberries if they're still fruiting. Raspberries are fruiting at the moment, prioritise them, tayberries, etc. There's a load of things that you can be watering and making sure that you are getting a good harvest for. As you can see, this is an old video of me watering my sweet corn, the sweet corn that we harvested the other day. Okay, this is baby pop. I just want to say that we're still not on a hose pipe ban, but lots of people are. Another thing I'm going to say about water is it is fundamental to have a butt. Okay, water butts, fundamental. It is important that you are collecting rainwater for times like this where there are hose pipe bans and we are asked not to use so much water. Okay, behind me there is a water butt. I think there's 4 of them currently at our house, which is not very many. I know we should do better, and we have something like 4 that are filled at the moment at the allotment. It is fundamental that you have a way of collecting rainwater, and rainwater is so much better for the plants than any city water is, okay, because it's got chlorine and all sorts of stuff in it, and fluorine, which is fantastic for your teeth, but I don't know if any plants have teeth, not that I've seen, okay, so it's really important that you are collecting that. Alright, thanks for watching. Let's see you next time. If I've missed any, stick them down below. Share all of your knowledge with everyone. If you think of any that I've missed, stick it below. Thanks. See you next time. Bye bye. Oh, and subscribe.